Okay, hi. Well, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you. My name is James Sanderson, and I am your host this evening. And I'm going to be interviewing someone absolutely amazing, Millie Jervis-Stringer, who is really an extraordinary superstar in our business. She's had so much success, but she's on track for even more success now. And we had a fascinating conversation at the NMD meeting a few months ago. And I said after that conversation, I said, Millie, we have to have you on a Zoom call. So here we are, and a very warm welcome to you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on the call. I'm very
And,
excited.
good. And you're just back from the gym.
That's it. Literally just got in from the gym. I've just put a bit of makeup on just to try and cover my sweaty mess up.
Oh, well, you look amazing. And I love the fact you've got a slightly sort of sheen on your camera. That's so cool.
Oh, have I?
No, yeah, it looks really, really, no, it looks really, really cool. Don't try and change anything. It looks, looks amazing.
Okay, cool.
And another enormously warm welcome to everyone who's joining us this evening. So we're up to about 42 people and very international tonight. So we've got people from Holland, I know, Germany. I think we've got people joining us from Egypt as well. You know, we've got the list goes on and on. So as I said, as we were just starting, if we can put any questions in the chat box down the bottom, and then your question will come up and then I can review that and then we can ask questions at the end of Millie. So we're going to run the call till 9 and then from 9 till 9:15 we're just going to ask questions of Millie. So this is the really interesting part, and this is why it's so good to be on the call, because you get the chance to ask your questions. So that's really important. Okay, so here we go. So Millie, the first question I want to ask you is, first of all, it'd be so interesting. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you again for having me on the call tonight. I'm really excited to and privileged as well to be sharing my story with you all. So, okay, so gosh, I could go back a long way. So I grew up in a little town called Lewes in Sussex all my life, and my story and my journey really started when I was really quite young, at the age of 16. So I was quite an overweight teenager. You know, at school I really suffered with you know, I was bullied, but it was because there was no, I believe, education at schools about health and nutrition. You know, as kids we would eat chocolate, we would have ice buns, and I got to the age of 16, saw my prom photos and was pretty horrified. So I took it upon myself to look into how to lose weight and how to be healthy. Got myself on a real journey, started to eat clean, did a good detox of, you know, good healthy foods, and got myself in a really good place, got myself in really good athletic shape. You know, so I felt quite passionate about being healthy from quite a young age. I then, when I was 19, went to the USA and did summer camp and taught horse riding, which was absolutely amazing. However, I suddenly became quite obsessed with, you know, what we were being fed over there. We had turkey burgers for breakfast, pizza for breakfast, you know, chocolate pudding for main courses. It was just outrageous. And because I'd looked after myself so much, I decided that I wasn't going to eat that. And I came back 3 months later at 7 stone. So I'd been like, and I'm 5'8" tall. For those of you who don't know me, I'm quite a tall person. You know, so for being 7 stone, I dropped an awful lot of weight, and I started this journey on, you know, it was a really hard journey for myself, where I had to, you know, figure out what was going on, what did I need to do to get better. Was it that I took myself to the doctors to get some antidepressants? They didn't work. I took myself to hypnotherapy. That didn't work. I tried reading books. That didn't work. The thing that I needed was to educate myself on nutrition, and, you know, why proteins, carbs and fats and fruit and vegetables are so important. So I took myself to university, studied nutrition, and got a degree in nutrition, health and lifestyles, which was absolutely phenomenal. And that is what changed my life. You know, I went and learned, and actually within the first term I was like, oh, so that's why it's really important to eat all food groups and to be healthy. So that is where my passion comes from. That is why this business is literally so perfect and fits in for me. However, when I left university, I couldn't find a job. And I ended up going back to what I was doing when I was 16 as a play centre manager for children. And I was hosting children's birthday parties, dressed up as a monkey, doing birthday parties in a big monkey suit, which was great fun. But coming out of university, that wasn't kind of what I envisaged. And then I suddenly landed a job in a place called Jenny Craig, which was a weight management company, which was absolutely like what I thought was my dream. I was a sales girl, but I was helping people on the telephone in my little call center box, helping them how to lose weight, how to be healthy, and I was counseling them. It was absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved it. And all of a sudden, like 6 months down the line, I got made redundant from the job. And I think James is going to ask me later a bit about how I got involved with Juice Plus. But, you know, it was that point in my life where I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Do I start my own business? You know, how am I going to use my passion? And how am I going to help people? Am I going to have to, you know, start my own company that's going to cost me a load of money? And I was really at quite a low point in my life. So, you know, my background really has stemmed from, you know, a really young age in having a passion for health and nutrition. So that I think that's it before I go.
Millie, I think that's amazing. And you know, from everything you've said, this was totally meant to be. It's really extraordinary, isn't it, that you've been on a path for a long time. I think that's very, very interesting. But then you came across the amazing Katie Ravey. Tell us about that.
So basically, I've been made redundant from my job at Jenny Craig. And the reason that I noticed the capsules on Facebook was because Katie put a post up and it said, my skin's never been better, my energy's never been better. I love these little capsules. And for the majority of my time at university, I'd broken out with adult acne to the point where my skin was so bad. I would wear stage makeup, I put nail varnish remover on my face, you name it, I tried it. I put everything, avocado pseudo-creme, bleach I tried to try and get rid of my spots. It was just awful. And they put me on a course of Roaccutane. It was a real kind of last resort medication that they give you. And it's a 6-month medication. And long story short, it didn't work for me. And so I'd come off the medication. I'd got made redundant from my job at Jenny Craig, and I was just sat on my bed at home one night, just flicking through Facebook, like aimlessly, not knowing what to do with my life. And I came across this post, and so I messaged Katie, and I just said, look, like, what are these capsules? I'm really interested. I've got really bad acne. Do you think they can help me? And of course she said, well, I'm not going to promise you. I can't tell you that they will clear it, but, you know, you won't know if you don't try. And I was at the point where I had no money. I was working at Domino's Pizza, delivering pizzas, which is pretty ironic, but I had to pay my bills. And I just thought, you know what? I can't afford this, but I need it. I've tried everything. And I got into the premium capsules and my skin literally just transformed. It was incredible.
Wow, tell us about that. How long did it take then for your skin to really clear up with the capsules, with the fruit and vegetable and berry capsules?
So I found that literally my skin felt like aggressive. It felt angry, like it was sore all the time. And literally within a couple of weeks, that anger in my skin and the irritation had started to go down. But I really noticed probably 2 months in that, like, I wasn't getting these big lumps on my face, and my scars started to kind of slightly disappear. And I felt more relaxed in myself. So I'd say like 2 or 3 months in, it must have been, that I actually started to feel so much better about myself. But now, like, literally it must have been about a year that I started to go out without makeup, which is absolutely huge for somebody that's had such horrendous skin issues. Like, to be able to go out of the house without makeup on, it was just like, it's so life-changing.
Yeah, amazing. So then, Millie, you then moved into becoming a distributor. Was that a big decision for you, or was it something really quite natural for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I basically was getting so many people coming to me saying, you know, Millie, what are you doing? Your skin looks incredible, because everyone knew me like as Millie with spots, you know, and people couldn't believe the transformation. And because I was more confident. Like, it wasn't just the fact that my skin had got better. People started to see the real me, and they were asking what I was doing. So I kept passing people to Katie, and she said, Mills, look, there's an event on the 25th of November. It was 2012. She said, I'm not going to be there, but go. It's in Manchester. So I got in my little car. Didn't think my car was so broken, I didn't think it was going to make it, but I thought, do you know what, I've got to make a change. Yeah. So I got in my car, drove from Brighton to Manchester, and I went to a meeting, and Bob and Sue Burdick were there, Susie Mitchell was there, John was there, Vicky was there, and it was literally the day that changed my life in so many ways. I sat there and I got it, and I I signed up by paper. Do you remember the little forms that we had to sign up with? And I was just like, sign me up right now. Like, I'm ready for this. I'm going to go. I know this is amazing. I get fruit and vegetables. I get the product. I love the product. What do I need to do?
Wow. So you know, a lot of people are going to be very, very interested to hear your story because it's an extraordinary story. But then a lot of people are going to be saying, right, well, I'm just getting going. What were your first 6 months like? Was it just straight off, high up, or what was your experience as you got going? Because obviously you had a great experience with the product, but how did the business start for you within the first 6 months?
Okay, so I started on the 25th of November. And obviously going into December, it's not the busiest of months. So I managed to get myself 5 customers in the first month, which was pretty good. It was just so very different back then. You know, we had no blueprint. There was no instruction. Like, we didn't have team meetings. It was just like, you've signed up to the business. If you want to do well, go and find people. And I was on a mission to go and speak to as many people that I could and find people to help because of how much it had helped me. So every person that I came across, I found a way of telling them about Juice Plus, whether it was like telling them that I liked something that they were wearing to strike up a conversation, whether I bumped into someone by accident in the queue in Superdrug, and I just found a way of making conversation with every single person that I met and offered them the opportunity or offered them the product by saying to them, I might have something that you're interested in. Or, you know, I'd go into a shop and chat to the cashiers and, you know, ask them how their day had been, and I'd ask them what they'd been up to and, like, you know, if they loved what they were doing. And most of the time people would say no, and I'd ask them to tell me why they didn't like what they were doing, and it might be because they worked without being able to see their children, or they worked long hours. And I'd say, well, I've got an opportunity that you might be interested in where you can earn some extra money from home. If I sent you a video, would you watch it? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I'd add them on Facebook and literally start connecting with them that way. And what I found,
Millie, what video did you send them?
If it was product, I'd send them how Juice Plus is made.
Yep.
And then, like, now it's different. So I love the niece video. I think it's so powerful.
The which video?
The niece video, the Gen Y. Yep. I just think that video is so powerful, and that was my first big convention that I ever went to, and I literally was blown away. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So that, for me, it's very emotional, that video, and I really connect to it. But also, it just depends on the person. Like, you're not going to send like one of the Marbella videos to somebody perhaps who's in their 50s that isn't, you know, really into the party scene. You know, you've got to be quite savvy about the information that you're sending to people. And I think it's really important to make it personal as well. You know, I think, you know, scripts used to be really good, but I think it's really important to get on people's level and find out exactly who they are, what they're struggling with, and, you know, like, what's missing from their life. Is it that they do work too many hours? Is it that they don't have their health? You know, don't they go on holidays? You know, you can ask lots of questions, and when you're building up new relationships, in a sense that, you know, you can ask anything. Questions lead to answers. So, you know, if you're willing to put yourself out there, and sometimes it can be quite scary, you know, striking up a conversation with somebody that you don't know, but you've got to practice. Practice makes perfect. And I think, like James knows, when I first started this business, I was unbelievably shy, like, because of my skin and everything. I didn't have very much confidence, and through speaking to people and practicing, through building relationships and getting out of my comfort zone and telling my story, I've grown into this person that I believe in myself. I have confidence, and I know that I can do anything. And that's what this business has given me, you know. So, you know, one of my biggest bits of advice to people is do the things that you feel that you can't do very well. Do them more often than the things that you can do well. So what I get my team to do is I write down their 3 weaknesses. Like, at the beginning of every month, I say, so what are your 3 weaknesses and what do you need to work on? And then I get them to write down their strengths. So we've got a positive, but then I tell them to go away and work at the things that they're weak at, because that's where they're going to improve the most and gain the most confidence. I think that's something that's really, really important.
No, I think that's amazing. I've never heard that before. I think that's very, very inspiring. So tell us about your first big breakthrough. I mean, you know, we're adding customers, we're talking to people, we're getting in people, but then, you know, everybody, there's always something that happens for people, some special moment that creates a huge breakthrough for people. What was your first special moment that really moved things along for you?
So I was in the business for a whole year before I put on my first event, and Katie was always saying, you know, put on an event, Millie, put on an event. And because I literally had no confidence in myself. I had no belief. All I knew in my body and in my soul that I was going to be an NMD, and just sorry to like diverge a little bit, but when I first went to that event back up in Bolton, my very first event, I knew that I was going to be an NMD. There was absolutely I didn't know how, but I just knew it was like I had it inside my heart, and it felt so right, even though I didn't have the belief in myself. And that was just something that I had to practice over and over again. And my biggest breakthrough was I actually put my first ever event on my birthday, to prove to myself that you know I could do it. And it was the biggest and the hardest thing that I've ever done, that I invited all these people. There's a room full of people, and I had to put on this event about something that I was passionate about, but I was so insanely shy because I was so in my head, and I kept telling myself that I can't do this, like how am I going to get up and speak in front of these people, like I'm so shy, I'm not good enough, like I don't believe in myself, and had these thoughts in my brain. I can tell you something, as soon as I finished that event, I was like, oh my God, yeah. I had so much belief in myself. Everyone clapped. It wasn't brilliant, but it was the first step for me going, do you know what? I do believe in myself.
And was Katie prepping you in that? Was she there or no? Did she catch your event?
Not really. Like back then, like in 2012, it was all still very new to all of us. And, you know, I was just basically doing what other people were doing. Like we were putting on events and we were just told to talk a little bit about the products and, you know, share what the business is. We didn't have the napkin presentation then, you know, what John's become so good at. It was just a matter of getting people together and sharing a few testimonials and a few stories. So that was my biggest breakthrough. And ever since then, like, you know, putting on events, as you guys all know, is so key and it's so fundamental to build momentum within your business, whether it's a one-to-one, whether it's an event like this, whether it's actually where you hire out a room, or whether it's like, I don't know, like a meeting in your house, like an in-home, which I think are amazing. You know, events build business. It's fact. And I think you probably agree, James.
Yeah, no, totally. So a lot of people are going to be very interested. I mean, this is really courageous stuff that you're telling us about. And I can see why you had so much success, because you just determined to do it yourself. You know, you took complete responsibility for your own success, which I think is what's such a key thing. But a lot of people are going to be very interested. What was your daily method of operation? What were you actually doing to get this great success? What were you doing on a daily basis? What would your DMO be?
Okay, well, so my DMO is very different now to what it was back then. I think, you know, back then I didn't really have any kind of, I didn't have a structure, and I kind of like just fumbled my way through, and, you know, it was, you know, all I used to do was just keep a track of my customers and make sure that every single day I was speaking to at least 3 new people. Because I remember when Jeff Roberti said that at the beginning, when he first started out, he told his story to 3 new people every day. So that is something that I did at the beginning. I made sure that I was speaking to 3 new people and telling my story to 3 brand new people every single day. And I worked in a sports shop up at the gym that I went to at Virgin Active. And so people would come in the shop and I would find a way of telling them my story. And again, it took practice. But now my daily method of operation is very different. And it's what's helped me go from being like Club 21 and I jumped to Club 75 last year. So the thing that I changed was my daily method of operation and put some structure within my day. So I've just written a few things down. So a DMO is obviously very, very important. And it's like if you went to a normal job, like you'd have a routine of what you were doing every single day. You wouldn't just sit and scroll through like your office, whatever it was, whether it was like, I don't know, like if you worked in a car workshop, you wouldn't just look through car mechanic books all day. Do you know what I mean? You'd need a structure of income producing activities of what you were going to be doing every single day. You know, so the things that I do, and you've got to think like, what income producing activities are you doing? Like, I ban myself from scrolling through Facebook until I've done my DMO. And I have a big pink book. So this is a big A4 diary, and I write my DMO out every single day, because I think, you know, whatever you write down becomes true. It's so important that, you know, that you're engaging with what is in your brain, and you're not just, you know, you're not doing it properly. And what I mean by that is that you're writing things down and crossing them off as you go. So on my daily method of operation, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute, I make sure that I tick it off, and I make sure before I go to bed every single night I've done all my IPAs. And the most important things that we call are non-negotiables. So the non-negotiables that I do every single day are adding 30 new people.
Adding 30 new people?
Yes, I add 30 new people every single day to my Facebook. And you can be quite specific with this. So what I get my team to do is I get them to find their tribe. So what I mean by finding their tribe is, so say for example, to find my tribe, I would get a piece of paper and write down all my interests. So my interests are things like horses, the gym, body pump, clean eating, fitness. I love interior design. I love art. What else do I love? I love dogs and all these kind of things. So then what I would do is I'd go on Facebook and find groups that relate to the things that I'm interested in and add myself into the groups. And then I'd make myself really present in those groups. So with my Labrador, I would take photos of him while I was out walking, and I'd post him in the group, and then I'd say something like, out with my gorgeous boy Gunner today. Who else is out walking their dog? Show us a pic. And then what they would do, I'm not joking, I'd get like 700 people put pictures up, and that was an invitation for me to start a relationship with that person and start chatting to them. So that's an in. And then if you build a relationship up with them, you can add them on Facebook, and they're going to be someone that you relate to, and that's going to be part of your tribe. So your tribe is whoever you relate to. Like, I'm not going to relate to perhaps a guy who is a pilot that loves going on drinking holidays. That he's not my tribe. My tribe are like 25 to 35-year-old women who love fitness, who are into health, who perhaps are horse riders. That's my tribe, because they're people that relate to me and are interested in the same things as that I am. So that's the way that I find my 30 people. I add myself into groups, and I find people that are similar to who I am. So we've got things in common. Okay,
so the first thing is we're adding 30 new people a day from Facebook. Yeah. What's the next one?
So the next one is that I make sure that I'm posting at a minimum of 6 times a day. Now, it's really important to post with intention. So, you know, I think people can get quite complacent and just post pictures of testimonials and post pictures of, you know, this is what a Juice Plus capsule is, and this is Juice Plus, the Juice Plus premium capsules. This is what's in them. This is how much they are. That's not intention. We're posting with intention. You want to post pictures of you taking the products and showing why you love them. Post your lifestyle on Facebook and get people interested in what you're doing. You know, don't use Facebook as like a Juice Plus selling window. Sell yourself. Like that is your platform to be you and to be real. Like, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Make sure that you're being you and you're being real, because people will relate to that. People will relate to your uniqueness. So if you're not really sure about what you should be posting, get a pen and a piece of paper and write down all the things that you're interested in, and go on to Pinterest, for example, and go and find posts and pictures that are on Pinterest and share them on your Facebook, and make it bright, make it colourful, and ask yourselves, have a look through your Facebook and ask yourself, would you be inspired by you, and would you be inspired by what you're doing? So I always make sure that I'm posting at least 6 times a day. You know, I always check into places when I go for dinner. I check into Costa, because I'm in Costa all the time. And people are like, Millie, why are you in Costa all the time? Like, do you actually do anything? Do you do your job? And that creates conversation. And I post my meals, I post myself working out, I post myself horse riding, and people see that this is what I'm doing and this is my lifestyle, and I integrate Juice Plus in that. So if I'm taking a picture in my kitchen of my food, I'll put Juice Plus in the background. So I'm posting with intention. I'm showing that I'm being healthy, and in the background are my capsules. So just be a bit clever, get creative, be fun with it, and think about who you are as a person, and put that on Facebook.
Very good. That's excellent. And so, all right, so that's number 2. Is there a number 3 that you would be ticking off every day?
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing that I think so important is, I don't know if you guys have customer support groups on Facebook,
Yep.
but I think it's absolutely fundamental that every single person who has one customer, that they need to be posting in their customer support group at least 2 or 3 times a day, whether it's reminding people to drink more water, whether it's a clean recipe, whether it's a workout, whether it's a fruit and veg fact about why it's important to eat fruit and vegetables, whether it's a live video of you working out or going for a walk with your dog and just moving a little bit more, and engaging with people, making them feel like that, people will follow your feet, not your mouth. So if you're telling people to be healthy, but you're not doing it yourself, and you're not posting in the support group, do you think people are going to follow you? No. So it's really, really important that, you're taking action and you're being an inspiring person, so people follow what you do. And I think that's something that's really stuck with me for a long time. Like, people follow your feet, not your mouth. I think that's something that's really...
So because we've got quite a lot of other questions to ask.
Sorry.
A couple of other things on the DMO?
Okay, so the other things are, I do 15 minutes of personal development every single day. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is I flood my mind with Tony Robbins or some Les Brown, or I put an old Zoom call on. If you go onto YouTube and you type in like John Holowati Zoom or Sinead Kavanagh Zoom or Olivia Measures, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Zoom calls. And I just fill my mind full of all of that every single morning. I think how you spend the first hour of your day will determine the rest of your day. So really think about, if you're getting up in the morning and putting the news on, stop, because that's so negative. Like, watch the news later in the day, get up and put lots of positive things into your mind. So do some personal development. And then the other thing that I make sure that I do every single day is connect with 5 new people. And what I mean by connect with 5 new people is when people accept your friend requests on Facebook, what you can then do is go to your recently added friends and then go to their profiles and like and leave a comment on one of their photos, because then what that's going to do, that's going to cross network your Facebook with theirs. Yeah. So when you first add someone on Facebook, like, your Facebook profiles are like this, they're not connected. So if you go and leave a comment and a like on one of their pictures, all of a sudden there's a connection between the 2 profiles, and they will then start to see more of what you're doing.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, I think that's amazing. So we've covered the product now. We've covered looking after, our daily method of operations and connecting with people. Now, I just want to move on a little bit and talk about the team. Okay. Now, we've had one interesting question that I just want to ask, and we're sort of merging a little bit now with the questions.
That's fine.
But how would you get a new person started? What is your program for getting a new person started?
Okay, well, absolutely. Like, number one, they have to be on the product. I don't really like signing people into the business that haven't been on the product, because I just don't think it's like giving someone a mobile phone and not letting them use it and getting them to try and go and sell it. It doesn't work. You are a selling machine. If you haven't taken the product, you're a selling machine. That you're not coming from the heart and you're not sharing your feelings. And I haven't got anyone in my front line who wasn't a customer. So I think, personally, people should be a customer, or if they're signing up, the first thing that they have to do is get on the products. Yeah. Absolutely. That's an absolute, non-negotiable. And then I actually keep it really, really simple. I've tried so many different things over the years, and the best thing to do is keep it really, really simple. I teach my guys how to get 825 plus 1, and then I basically give them the price list. I add them into my team group. They'll already be in the customer support group. I'll teach them how to do a DMO.
The DMO, like yours, yeah?
Yeah, I'll teach them how to do that, so they know what they're doing every single day. I'll make sure that they're writing their DMO out. That's really, really important. And then I'll tell them to go and get their 825 plus 1, because it sounds harsh, but people are going to be no good to you if they're not getting their 825 plus 1.
And how much do you help them with that? Do you just say, just go and get your 825 plus 1?
I mean, I normally have a starting, like a Zoom call with them just to go through everything, like what a DMO is and, you know, the things that I've just mentioned. And I say to them, you know, you love the product, go and tell people your story and share with them why you love what you're doing. And that's, I tend to leave them to go and do it because, you know, I think like when I first started, like Katie didn't spoon feed me, she left me to go and get, and if I wanted it I had to go and do it myself, and that's the important thing to remember in this business.
I think that's a very interesting message, that we can over help people.
God, massively, like we really can. And I think sometimes people then expect you as their upline to tell them what to do rather than coming to you and saying I've done it. What people do is they come to you and say, what shall I do next? Which is great, but what you want people to start doing is coming to you and going, I've done this, 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 and this. Like you want what's done, not what they're going to do. You want to hear what people have done, you know, not what they're planning to do. You know, I think that's important, to the action that they've taken. So when you sign people up, tell them, come to me and tell me when you've got 5 customers. When you've got 5, come to me.
So just for one very quick question, actually. Do you use your own personal Facebook, or do you have your own brand, or do you use both?
Okay, so I do most of my posting on my personal Facebook page. We've got our brand is Love Your Lifestyle, which is my customer support group. And I've never really had a business page, but I've just started one. It was when Dubai launched, and I've called it the Girlpreneur. And it seems to be working really well. What? The Girlpreneur. Oh,
Girlpreneur, yeah.
Girlpreneur. And what I've been doing on this, I've been boosting my posts, and like I boosted a post to Dubai, and I got over 1,000 comments and 1,000 likes.
What on earth did you post to get 1,000 comments?
I just put a picture of myself with like a little, I can't remember exactly what it was. But with like a quote over the top, and I just said like, if you want time freedom, if you want to earn money, if you want to be healthy, you're welcome to go and have a look at my page. And
that's super.
It's really worked, and I've managed to get quite a few teamies to Dubai.
Well done. I mean, that's absolutely fascinating. So let's now talk a little bit more about the team, because this is really, really interesting, because you went from Club 21 to Club 75?
75, yeah.
Club 75 in the space of how long?
Okay, so
well, first of all, Millie, can you explain to everybody what a club is? Because some people won't understand that. And then if you could take us through the process of how you moved your clubs up so high.
Okay, so let me think. So a club is somebody who is an SDD, that is PB qualifying. Now, PB is 1,250 PB points, and PB points are added up depending on how people pay for their products. So I'll give you an example. I'm just going to use the old prices because it's easier. So say, for example, someone orders premium capsules with you. You'll get 200 points towards your SDD. However, you'll also get some PB points, and if they pay in installments, you'll get 50 points for 4 months in a row. However, if they pay in full, what will happen is you'll get one lot of 200 for 1 month, then nothing for 3 months, and then when they reorder, you'll get another 200. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got yourself up to like Club 20 with 20 people, each with 24 premium customers, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of sat at Club 24 for like 2.5 years. I then rocketed up to Club 38, and I had a really hard time in the business, and my business halved in 2014. At the end of 2014, I went from EMD Payline, and it just dropped half.
What happened there, do you think?
Pardon?
What happened there? What happened to cause that?
I took my foot off the gas, James. I thought I'd made it. I didn't really know what I was doing in the business. Like, I went from NMD to IMD to EMD within the space of like 7 months, and I was just having the time of my life. And I'd never had the kind of money that I was earning, and I stopped looking after the team. I stopped looking after my customers, and 4 months later, my business just went like this.
Right. So you then realized that, you needed to get back into your DMO and everything like that. So tell us, so you then had that big fall back, but then you you moved yourself right back up again. And tell us what happened there.
Yeah, so my lowest point was Club 11, and that was like at the end of 2014, kind of 2015. And I kind of thought to myself, you know, what have I got to do? What do I need to do to get myself back on track and, you know, get my team up and running? So that's when I implemented this new DMO in the July. And then come the January, I went back up to Club 24. And then I rocketed from Club 24 to Club 75 from the January to September. And the only thing that I changed was that I got up every single day. I treated the business like a business and not like a hobby. I created structure within my day, so doing my DMO and making sure that I did that every single day before I went to bed. But the thing that I think that really changed my business was putting up a PB report in my team every single day. I screenshot, I go onto my office, and if you're an SDD or above and you have SDDs in your team, you'll be able to run a PB report. And that's what I do, and I still do it to this day. Every day in the morning, I will screenshot my PB report and stick it in my team group. Now, I know some people perhaps don't want other people seeing, you know, how close or not they are to PB, but there's no shame in that, and it's almost like it will hold you accountable. And what my team love is the fact that they all know where each other are at, and they help each other and they spur each other on, and, you know, they give each other advice, and it's a really, really great way to be real. You know, you're not hiding behind anything. And I think, you know, if you're in a position where, you know, you've got people who are SDD in your teams, but they're not PB qualifying, get your PB report out and stick it in your group. And I'm happy to send James. What I'll do is I'll send you a few scripts of what I put up sometimes in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll just explain like what I do. And honestly, since I started doing that in the January and made that part of my DMO, it changed everything. And I rocketed from Club 24. Club 21 it was, right up to Club 75.
Wow. So tell us, okay, so that's very interesting about the team. So now let's go and talk about your tips for success. So, you know, you've had a lot of experience, you know, very dynamic, you know, oh my goodness, the content you're coming out with, what you're saying is just like amazing. So give us your 5 top tips, do you think, for success? Because a lot of people are going to be saying, God, Millie, I'm working hard, I'm doing stuff, but I don't feel like I'm having a breakthrough. What are your top tips that you would say, come on, these are the things that I found have made all the difference?
Okay, so first of all, be honest with yourself. Are you on plan? I've always found that...
What do you mean on plan?
So... on plan, I mean like eating clean, waking up and having a shake, or having juice plus porridge, which is what I'm having a lot of at the moment, having my capsules every single day and documenting it on Facebook and making sure that people are seeing that I'm being a product of the product. So that's number one, really. So being a product of the product. Are you living the lifestyle? Are you a walking, talking billboard of Juice Plus? If not, then change it, because I promise you, as soon as you start living this mission and then inspiring healthy living around the world through yourself, like I said earlier, people will follow your feet, not your mouth. You can put all over Facebook that you love Juice Plus and you know that it's made you feel great. But if you're not living the mission, if people can't see that you're getting healthier and that your skin looks amazing and that you're looking after yourself and that you're taking a walk with the dog or you're going running, whatever exercise that suits you as a person, if you're not doing that and you're sitting at home and watching TV and, you know, not really living the mission, then of course people aren't going to follow you. So my second one, pardon?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, second one.
So number one, product of the product. Number two, personal development. Absolutely. If you're not doing personal development every single day, then that's something that you really need to start doing, you know, because if you're not growing as a person, you're dying inside in your brain. Like, you've got to keep learning every single day and becoming a better version of yourself. I've done so much personal development over the years, you know, and Tony Robbins and Susie Mitchell even has been a massive, massive inspiration for that. You know, there's always stuff to listen to. So if you haven't listened to Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business, go and get that off YouTube. It's free. The other one that I absolutely love is Beach Money by Jordan Adler. And the other one that I love is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a great book. And there's so many books. And we're in an industry, guys, where it's growing and people are starting to understand that network marketing is actually a profession, which is so exciting. And there are so many books out there that you can go and read and kind of educate yourself with people who have been in the business for, not this business, but in the network marketing industry for a long time. And you can pick so much amazing stuff up from them.
So point number 3.
Gosh, there's so many that I could share with you. So product of the product, personal development, what have I written? I'm trying to find my list. What did I write down? Because there's so many different things that I would recommend.
Well, that's brilliant, because what you've already said is absolutely superb. So let's go on now. And what would you say has been your highest point and your lowest point? Because a lot of people will be listening to the call and saying, oh, well, just sounds like you've had the most amazing time. It's just been on upward and upward and upward, you know. I mean, you've already alluded to that a little bit, but tell us what has been the highest point and the lowest point? Because this will help people identify a little bit, I think.
Okay, so I guess my lowest point was where I'd built my business up to a point where I thought that I'd made it, and all of a sudden everything just stopped. It halved. My team died. I went from being like 12 PB legs wide to 3. I obviously stopped getting as much commission. Everything kind of was in a really bad place. And I had two choices. I could sink or swim, and I could either go, do you know what? Like, this is it. I'm just going to give up. Or, I could sort myself out. I could kind of pick myself back up, dust myself off, and get myself going again. And I think it's really important to remember that this is a journey and there are going to be ups and downs. And what I've kind of trained myself to be really good at is to see, I don't even know what to call them, like challenges, like when things go wrong, when negative things happen, see it as an opportunity to grow, see it as an opportunity to get better and to learn from it as an experience and to kind of build yourself up. Because I think, when something negative happens, whether you lose a team member, whether you lose a leg, whether you lose a customer, people take it personally. You've just got to get on with that. You've just got to accept that and move forward. And if you sit dwelling on the things that are going wrong, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract more stuff that's going to go wrong. So you've got to get into a really positive mind frame that yes, things go up and down, yes, business changes, and yes, you are in control of what your future is, because thoughts become things. And I think it's really, really key to know that you are literally your only limit to this business. And if things are tough right now, sit down with yourself and say, what am I doing and how much am I doing, and am I actually doing income producing activities, or am I just scrolling through Facebook, and am I actually telling 3 new people every single day my story? And if you're not, then get out there and do it, because there's a world of people who need this product and need this business, and you've got it right in your hands, and you know how passionate you are about this, because you wouldn't be on this call otherwise tonight, listening to James and myself and thinking about how you can go further in this business. So just really think about what it is that you want. Think about what it is that is your vision. And what I think is a really good way to think about it is if you had all the money in the world, or had all the money that you needed to make you happy and to live the life that you wanted to live, what would that look like? Paint that picture and make it so visual for yourself that you're basically living it in your mind all the time. Like, I have such a strong vision of where I want to be and what I'm focusing on, and how I want my team to look, and where I want my guys to be, because they've told me their visions. So make it so strong in your mind. Like, even think about, what kind of clothes would you wear? Where would you go shopping? How would you travel? How would you spend your time? Where would you spend your day? Make that vision really strong and connect with it daily. Make a vision board. I've completely diverged from the...
No, it's actually great, but I can hear you. See, you're overflowing with information which you've absorbed and you've digested, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to hear you speak. So tell us, what are your goals for this year, Millie? I mean, you're on the up and up. You're now really in your stride. What are your goals for this year, 2017?
My goals for 2017. Okay, so just going back again, sorry, my highest point was getting my NMD.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the team, and for me it's about changing lives. And to see my Amy Turner come up through this business and go through the things that she have and achieve NMD, and she's now IMD, was just the absolute most incredible, wonderful feeling for me. So that was my highest point. And moving on from that, so my goals for this year are, I've got 7, I'm now 7, almost 8 PB wide. And I've got a front line of probably about, I don't know, maybe 25, 30. So it's my mission is to be, I'm saying 15 wide by the end of the year. That's where I want to be. And I want my guys to get to where they want to be. My mission now is not, I'm obviously driven for PMD Club 100, but for me right now, it's my team, like my front line, to help them get to where they want to be. So I've got like 4 girls going for NMD, Amy Turner's going for EMD. So for me, it's all about the team. And obviously, if you help your guys, that'll help you. So I guess eventually I will be PMD Club 100. So it would be nice to have that this year. That's what I'm visualizing. That's what I'm focusing on. But more importantly, I'm focusing on the team and helping them get to where they need to be.
Fantastic. So we're out of time now, but there's one final question I want to ask you. For the new people listening to the call for the first time, how would you describe the excitement of the opportunity we have here?
Oh my God, I don't even know how to start with that question. It's completely and utterly life-changing. And, if you're willing to work in this business, you can have and do and be anything that you dream of. And I think that's something really, really important to remember, is that, with this business, you can go as far as you want. You can live your absolute dream life. There's no limit to what you can do or who you can be. You can go and talk to new people every single day. There are millions and millions of people in this world, and every single person can take this product. I've never come across anyone who can't take this product. Even I've got people who are allergic to fruit and vegetables, and they take Juice Plus and they are fine on it. So you pay for what you get paid for what you get done. So if you've got big dreams, go and talk to a lot of people, go and share this with more people. The more people you share it with, the more yeses you're going to get. And you have to go through the no's, and you have to get through the negatives, but see it as fuel. Use those negativities as fuel to push yourself forward. And like I said earlier, the only limit is yourself. So get out of your own way and go and share this amazing product, an amazing opportunity with every single person that you come across, and your dreams will really come true if you want them to.
Wow, that's amazing, Millie. So you mentioned and I haven't asked you this question before, but you mentioned when you first started that you were delivering Domino's pizza.
Yes.
And you were having to do that to pay the bills. How much money do you think you've earned since you've started Juice Plus?
Altogether?
What would you reckon?
Oh my goodness! I've earned over 6 figures. I know that.
Wow.
But I honestly couldn't tell you.
That you would have received in 1 month would have been.
The most money that I ever received in 1 month was for my last bonus. My last bonus and commission, and I just got short of £28,000 in a month.
For 1 month.
Yes, 1 month. Which is so crazy.
It is. Well, Millie, let's leave it there. It's been the most sensational call. I mean, the people have said brilliant. I'm raring to go. Very motivational speaker. Fantastic call. Thank you, Millie.
You're so welcome.
So inspiration. Thanks a million. I mean, honestly, this and someone has said I must have a recording of this call. So we are going to. This has been recorded. And it has been the most extraordinary call. I have to say, I'm going to have to listen to this call over and over, many times over, because the information you've given us tonight has been absolutely extraordinary. I've never heard such a condensed and highly detailed explanation of how our business works. And it's really spectacular what you delivered tonight.
Can I just say as well, I just want to add that, I've been in the business for 4.5 years. It didn't happen overnight. Like, you've got to keep on practicing. Like, I never used to be this confident, and I never used to be able to know like what to do with my business like that. It's taken time, but because I've seen that it's such an incredible opportunity, you know, I just ran with it, and the more you do it, the better you'll get. So I don't want people to feel like, oh my God, like I could never know that much. You absolutely can, and it comes back again to being you are your only limit. You know, I came from being the shyest, most unconfident person to now I am so buzzing and I'm so excited, and I know that, you know, we've barely even started yet with this business. So, you know, if you've got big dreams, then just keep on practicing, just keep on learning. Knowledge is power. So just keep on going out there and sharing what you love, and you will go such a long way.
Well, Millie, this has been very, 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 very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody would just give an enormous thanks and round of applause to you tonight. You're really spectacular.
Thank you so much, James.
One of the most incredible calls that we've ever had. So thank you so much. And we're going to leave it there way, way over time tonight, but I just want to let it run because it was so perfect. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to leave it now. I'm still going to stop the recording and we'll see everybody very soon. And thank you very much for joining us, and have a nice evening. And Millie,
thanks, James.
So much.